Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to the show. Guys, doing well. You guys are having a wonderful freaking day on this 25th of August, 2024. I'm feeling very talkative, very thinkative today. We just did a video on the past, the present, and the future, and what they represent for each person, right? And we're keeping that in touch. We're keeping that in mind when we're talking about the next subject. It's actually quite simple, right? Overthinking. I'm a person that overthinks a lot, right? Especially right now. And what I think it's actually beautiful when you're seeing someone that overthinks talking, because with me, my subject, or when I make a video, often it's very confusing because I go from A to B to C to D. Like, why aren't you able to focus? And the reality is you overthink. I'm bringing up a subject, right? And once again, I did talk about how thinking, right, to myself isn't really challenging, but presenting an idea that's going to be seen by people is challenging. I want you guys to picture, okay? If you guys are in school, it's going to be easier for you. I want you guys to picture a, 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 a project that you have to do, a project that you have to write out, right? And I want you to imagine the same project that you write out, but it's an oral expose. Just a touch, a smidge more harder, right? And it doesn't serve a purpose other than, hey, you guys need to have communication. Because yes, in case you didn't know, um, that over that oral presentation is for you to present a project, right? It's cool, and it's funny because we just did a subject on that. We just did a subject on the fact that your past is a result, and how important is the past, right? But in reality, it doesn't fix itself often. I always have to tighten it. Um, yeah, but oral presentation, and that's what we're trying to say. That's what I'm trying to do with those videos. This is an oral presentation of a subject or a project that is in my mind, right? Sound crazy, but it's a fact. And understanding that when I'm making videos, I'm not able to focus, just like we're doing right now, and that's not planned, right? Well, a little bit. And yeah, it's funny because at the same time we're in a position where we're overthinking, we're not super clear, and I think it's beautiful is because my thoughts are being challenged. Because my thoughts are being challenged, that's why I'm so unfocused, right? But overthinking itself, we were talking about how you're supposed to be the person that you are, right? So for example, you're made by life more righteous. Life is pushing you to be more righteous, and fashions of, okay, well, you have to deal with a lot of situations where people were being shitty to you, and because those people are shitty to you, you have to deal with shitty people, and because you had to deal with shitty people, it made you stronger, it made you more mature, whatever you want to call it, right? What if a person was an overthinker because they need to be an overthinker, right? Or what if you were an overthinker because destiny, faith, belief, or a simple question of, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, right? My apologies. See, it comes to a certain point where, like, am I overthinking because there's something I need to do, or am I an overthinker because I need to go over that? I need to brandish a sword and vanquish the foe that is the Hydra being overthinking, right? And I don't know. I know some people that are, and again, I love my mom. That's how my mom was always seen as too close to emotion, right? I grew up with different parents. My father was very factual, was very matter of fact, was, hey, this is what I'm saying, this is what happened, this is what happened. There's nothing, doesn't matter how I feel about it, it happened. My mom was the opposite. My mom was extremely emotional, and she was close to emotion, right? But that emotional, the fact that she was close to emotion made her emotionally intelligent. My father, emotionally intelligent, he's a bit lacking in that department, right? He's not gonna understand. However, it doesn't change him from being a good person. If you see that you're sad, I'll try to make you happy. Try to be nice, right? And I don't know. I don't know if you're a certain way because you're supposed to, and it's mind blowing because the simple concept of, should I embrace overthinking or should I vanquish it, is crazy because, um, and again, I feel like it's a simple question of, right choices. Um, Most of my life, it's funny how that concept still changed to this day. Most of my life was about good versus evil, and I mentioned that multiple times. Then lately it was about balance, right? But when I talk about the balance is a lot harder. A lot harder than just the good versus evil. The good versus evil is a simple concept. Balance has to be maintained. Um, and how do you want to maintain balance? You have to maintain balance, right? Because you're directly impacting the results or the set balance. It's a bit harder to understand. It's a bit harder to picture. It's a bit harder to put in a word what you're trying to do, right? And in simple fashion or in simple matter of fact, um, if you believe that you're the sole proprietor of a existing balance or not, um, I have my own balance. My neighbor have their own balance. Those neighbors have their own balance. I'm not gonna affect those neighbors. I'm not gonna affect those neighbors because we're in direct contact, right? But at the same time, I'm not. And it goes to show. It goes to a point where you're like, okay, well, um, since I'm impacting my own life, and that balance that needs to be made is a balance with overthinking. A B. Um, is the answer the good choice? A good choice is weird because it's the direct implication, right? And you're in a position of, well, okay, I should be choosing between embracing overthinking and slaying overthinking. Then the right choice leads to automatically it leads to a weight in the balance. If I made the right choice, then the balance stay. I made the wrong choice. It's like this. And how do I bring it back? I don't know. See, it's weird. I'm overthinking, but then again, I'm very loosey goosey when it comes to thought. So there's already this balance. There's just this unbalance, right? And there's two of them. As long as I'm on a roll, I can talk for hours. But finding a subject that's worth talking about, well, so when you see the content I'm doing, when you see the videos, when I see the number of videos that I'm doing, I usually, and that's method to madness, if you will. If you're asking me how do you make so many videos, that's one of the answer. I'll start with a first and a subject, a second subject, and when I'm thinking about a subject, I'm thinking about other things, with a direct correlation or an indirect correlation with a said subject, and because you got a correlation or a uncorrelation with that said subject, and you're able to branch it out. Like, oh, this is the mother Russia, and then in Mother Russia you have different places, right? And this is where we are. So yeah, so overthinking is, and I'm using the point of overthinking, but you can also take another example like doubtful. Being doubtful, you're not being able to be physically, not physically fit, but physically challenged. For example, I have none of this. I don't. I have this fear of heights, right? But it's a weird fear of heights. This fear of heights is gonna be the lowest level. I'm looking down there, right, and I'm at the fourth floor. When you have this fear of heights, you can look down and you have vertigo. You're like, holy shit, this is high. This is I've been on this balcony for so long. Since I've been watching down for so long, I'm not necessarily challenged by that balance, by the height, right? However, I didn't have to jump. I feel safe here. It's safe spot. Nothing is ever gonna bring that down. This is well made. So I don't know. I don't know if I was in a position where I'm challenged. I don't know how I would react. And then I'm gonna have a place that is it's a lot lower, in altitude, right? Which is the correct sentence. Not height is altitude. Um, Altitude is whatever the ground is, go higher. And because of that, it's a pleasant nightmare because I'll be like, oh, this is high, and then I do it, and I'm like, okay, well, this wasn't high, right? So again, this is your thought that are pushing you to disbelief or to be doubtful. You should be listening to your thought because they're secretly trying to help you. So we're gonna take the example of the thought, right? The thought being, hey, I burned myself here, I stabbed myself. And because I stab myself, I know it hurts. So when I'm not gonna be next time to stab myself, I'll be more cautious because I know it hurts, right? And that's about it. That is the method to madness. Believe it in what you're thinking, or being able to have information come in. That's pretty much it. Anywho, when that I leave it to matter, I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy. Peace.